Hey guys, Josh Barnes here, and I am super excited. What I'm going to do today is walk through with you guys and show you GoTrader Edge. It is actually the indicator that I use when I'm first coming into the market to analyze and get ready to start trading. All right, so GoTrader Edge is this oscillator that you're seeing right here. Right, so it's is very crucial to my trading strategy and to basically to how I trade. And so what I encourage most everyone, that I'm coaching and what I do personally is do a top-down analysis, right? So start at a daily time frame and move down to smaller time frames and trade based off of those smaller time frames. So first thing you need to do is look at the daily and determine where the market's going. Are we trending right now, or are we looking to start reversing in a different direction? All those things are going to help you to trade better when you get down to the small time frames. All right, so and this indicator, GoTrader Edge, helps you to determine those overbought and oversold areas. And so that's what it's depicting here, right? So we have this oscillator that has this red and green areas here that are at 70 and 30. Now you can change that in the settings if you want to. So if you go here to settings, you can change that to 70 or 60, and it moves the line down to here, right? So a strategy or a way you could trade is I'm only going to trade if the oscillator gets to 60, or I'm only going to trade if it gets to 80. You can set up those kind of rules for yourself if you want to, but the way I like to use it is basically just to give me an overall direction, right? So here, once price gets close to the 70 mark, and this one actually peaked above the 70, it'll actually show you this red area here, and then these green areas here, whenever it gets below the 30 mark. And so what I like to do is once it gets close to the 70 or 30, I know that the market is overbought or oversold. And so I'm going to start to change my bias on where I think the market's going to be going, right? So when it gets close to the 70-30, we'll probably most likely have maybe an indecision day where the market is kind of going sideways for maybe a day or so, and then it'll start reversing and going the opposite direction. So I'll start changing my bias and start looking for sells instead of buys. And so what I did here and what the market did is basically came up to the 70, above the 70, and then changed directions and trended downward for a good couple of weeks there. And that's what the oscillator did. Went all the way down, and then it got close to the 30, and so the market doesn't, or the oscillator doesn't need to get all the way down below the 30 for it to start reversing. Although sometimes it does. Anytime it does get down to the 30, it definitely does reverse, but it could start reversing even if it doesn't get to the 30, right? So, which it, got close to 30 here and started reversing a little bit, kind of went sideways for a bit, and then it got close to 30 again here, and then it reversed and started trending upwards for a good bit of time here, and then sideways. And so all this time you're kind of really just kind of looking at the market, and it got close to the 7 here, so you might start looking for sells, changing your bias a little bit, and then you're looking for these big change in directions on the oscillator when it gets close and around the 30 and 70, right? So change in direction here, and then it gets close to the 70 here, an obvious change in direction on the oscillator here as well. So we have this trend here, and then it got below the 30 and an obvious change in direction on the oscillator here. So then we had this long trend up here, and then it got close to the 70 here and an obvious change in direction here. So we have a short little trend here, and then an obvious change in direction on the oscillator here, and then a trend up, right? And then again, close to the 70, obvious change in direction on the oscillator, and then a trend down. So that's kind of how I use the indicator. Hopefully this is helpful for you guys. And like I said, the key for this indicator is using it on a higher time frame to as your first reference, as your first thing to analyze when it comes to the market. Use this Go Trader Edge to get your overall bias for the market whenever you're trading, and that'll help you guys to be more successful at trading. Hopefully it's helpful, and see you guys soon.